Wow. Are Uber and Lyft actually going to abandon us, the drivers, and their passengers and leave California until the election? Well, that's what the CEO of Uber and the president of Lyft have threatened. And in this video, I'm going to share with you what we know. Is it a scare tactic or not? What are your options if they do leave? And then stick around because at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you the 4 different ways I see that this can play out. Hey everybody, good morning. It's Jay Crater with the Rideshare Guy. And man, flying the colors. Flying the colors. All right. Big news. Big news. And I'm going to get into some background. AB5. So this has to do with California. AB5. Law was passed in January 1st. It went into effect. And it said that by the letter of the law, drivers are classified as employees. Employees have certain legal protections under the law. Now, Uber and Lyft have ignored this law. And they've created a new Proposition 22, which is going to be on the ballot on November 3rd. And they're hoping that everybody goes out and votes for Proposition 22, which essentially means nothing's going to change. Drivers will still be independent contractors, and there's a few little details, but essentially not much is going to change, right? Well, the district attorney of California and 3 cities filed a suit against Uber and Lyft saying, you got to get with the game plan. This is the law. You can't just skirt the law. You're not bigger than the law. And what they did this week, a judge, went over all of it and said, wow, you're right. Uber and Lyft, you got 10 days to turn all your drivers into employees. Now, if you want to see a video where I go into much more detail about that, you can see that just by clicking on the link that's below this video. That video is called Uber and Lyft drivers in California could be employees within 2 weeks. So that's where we're at. That's what happened on Monday. The judge ruled. And what's happened now is in response to that. Okay, number 1. First thing I want to say is if you're driving, if you're out there driving, risking your life with the COVID-19, God bless you, and sign up for delivery right away, right? Get ready because if they do leave, you want to have your options. So we've got some links below this video for DoorDash and for Postmates, so you can deliver meals, and also Instacart. Okay, so those are 3 really good companies, and they will provide you an opportunity to drive if Uber and Lyft skip town. Okay, number 2. So what exactly did Uber and Lyft say, right? The words that came out of their mouth are very important because they can kind of indicate what they're thinking. So what you see here is Uber CEO, this is from CNBC, Uber CEO says its service will probably shut down temporarily in California if it's forced to classify drivers as employees. So here's the wording, he said. Uber would likely shut down temporarily for several months if a court does not overturn a recent ruling requiring it to classify its drivers as full-time employees. If the court doesn't reconsider, then in California, it's hard to believe we'll be able to switch our model to full-time employment quickly, says Dara Kaye. Okay, so he's kind of saying that if it did happen, it would be difficult to make the transition, right? His wording is a little bit vague, okay? But then we got to look at what the Lyft president said. His language is a little more definitive. All right, he said, if our efforts here are not successful, it could force us to suspend operations in California, Zimmer said on a call announcing the second quarter earnings of 2020. Fortunately, California voters can make their voices heard by voting yes on Prop 22 in November. So they're really pinning their hopes on this Prop 22. Okay, number 3, is this a scare tactic, right? Are they trying to Well, who would they be scaring? Well, if they scare drivers, there's nothing we can do about it. If they scare passengers, there's nothing the passengers can do about it. Who they're trying to influence is the judge who's going to be reading their appeal. Okay? So what they're trying to do is get what's called a stay. I talked to an attorney about this yesterday. They're trying to get a stay, which could give them a whole extra year to litigate this issue. So that's who they would be trying to influence. Now, Uber and Lyft do have a history of just, skipping town. They did it in Austin, Texas, and they did it in Broward County, Florida. The other thing we got to consider is the timing, right? This would be a good time. There's not a lot of activity now because, especially in California, a lot of like LA, San Francisco are in kind of a lockdown, right? People aren't really supposed to be going out much. Businesses aren't open. Only essential businesses are open. So they wouldn't be like losing a huge chunk of their business because of what's going on with the COVID-19. However, this does raise the question of what happens if they lose, if they don't get the proposition to pass in November? Are they just going to leave California for good? Right? As we see in this tweet, the stay expires August 20th. So by August 21st, California could be virtually rideshare-less. That's if a judge does not grant them an additional stay. And then Lyft adds, California makes up about 16% of total rides. So that's pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So when things are really normal, that's 16%. That's a huge amount of money. So what's going to happen? Let's say they leave town and then they don't win the election, and are they just going to stay out of California? And then what about other states who are going to follow suit? Are they just going to keep skipping town and decimating their business because they don't want to make us employees? Big questions, and frankly, none of us have any answers. Number 4, I just got to say, Uber is showing and Lyft, their true colors when it comes to the drivers. I don't think they're giving any consideration to the fact that drivers are out there literally risking their life, right? Putting on the mask, bringing people into their car, driving them around, right? It's really important that we have our service right now. It's safer than public transportation, right? The drivers who are doing it are really heroes, and they're supporting their families. And Uber, rather than bite the bullet for a couple of months, right, is saying, we're going to leave. We're just going to leave. Screw it. So it's interesting. When it comes down to the money, right, and what I've seen over 4 years is the money I've been getting paid has been getting less and less and less and less. When it comes to the money, that's where we see Uber take actions like this. Okay, rather than pony up for a couple of months, they're saying, hey, we're out of here. We're out of here. So what are the key takeaways? So I see that there are 4 ways that this can play out. So let's take a look at the 4 ways. Number 1, Uber and Lyft leave California, and drivers, desperate for any work in this tumultuous environment we all live in now, vote en masse for Prop 22. Then Uber and Lyft are happy, and they return to California, and drivers continue to work without benefits. All right, so that's the first option. Second option, Uber and Lyft leave California, and drivers and passengers, angry to be abandoned during these terrible times, take it out on Uber and Lyft and vote against Proposition 22. Uber and Lyft implement a new driver-employee model. Number 3, option 3 is Uber and Lyft are calling California's bluff. California sticks to its decision, and Uber and Lyft remain in California and create a hybrid driver-employee model until the election. And 4th, the California courts grant Uber and Lyft a stay within the next 10 days, which could be up to a year, in which this issue gets relitigated. And of course, the election will greatly impact what happens after November 3rd. So I do not know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't know if it's better to be an independent contractor or it's better to be an employee. I don't know which one's going to put more money in my pocket. There's the balance of your freedom and flexibility versus more money. it's really no one knows. We're just going to have to see how this plays out. And Uber and Lyft, they're kind of in charge. They've got the business, and we are a commodity, and we're just going to have to roll with it. So that's why I strongly recommend you sign up for delivery services now if you don't already have those available to you, so that you have options. All right, just keep your options open, because there's a good shot that the judge says, no, I've looked at all these details. Uber and Lyft, you're absolutely wrong. You should be classifying these folks as employees. Uber and Lyft say, screw it, we're out of here, and they leave town. Could happen. They've done it before. The timing is perfect for them. Small financial downside, and off they go. So be prepared. Be prepared. All right, everybody, this is Jay Crater with the Rideshare Guy. I hope you have a great day. Please like the video. That'll let more people see it. This is a really important topic, and it's good for all the drivers to understand they need to have options, because it's a very real threat that Uber and Lyft could leave town. Subscribe, set yourself up for notifications, so the next YouTube live we do, you'll be notified. You'll go out and have a great day. Be safe out there.